So we're looking at the start of the 27-mile coastal race today in the Portugal Trophy. Not an easy race by any standards, and one which had action right up to the finish. The start, just see here, Emirates Team New Zealand don't make a great start, get a little bit squeezed by Bribon below them, and Valars come in at the last second at the committee boat. So that's an early problem for Emirates Team New Zealand. Matador start quite nicely, and Quantum on the left side of the course also made an excellent start. So the first beat was not really as we've seen before, where the pressure was offshore on the left side of the course and the lift was on the right. A little bit more changeable and different this time. But Francesco Bruni on Matador really read it quite nicely. And you see that the early on Emirates Team New Zealand were pretty good, but Matador get this little right hand shift in a few minutes and get on the inside track, and the lift there, they start to get the advantage very quickly coming up this beat. So from there it was really for Matador to defend. Pattern quite similar in some ways to the coastal race in Cagliari. Quantum nicely positioned there as well, but they just lose out a little bit coming around the windward mark. Audi Q8 come in nicely and rounded second, Quantum third and Bribon fourth. So it's just a straight windward leeward for the first part of the coastal race. 2.3 mile beat and run. And it was Matador which held on all the way down the run. Sailed a good run. Emirates Team New Zealand going a little bit on the run, but it's Matador first, Audi Q8 hanging on, round second, Bribon third, and Artemis up to fourth and fifth after rounding the windward mark in seventh. No major changes up the second beat. Artemis call the shifts quite nicely in the right of the course and get round in third. Emirates Team New Zealand up to fourth. So from there it was just a long two-sail reach. Code zeros for a bit, and then Jenniker's just out to the rounding mark here. Then a beat up to the point just to the west of Laos. The breeze starts to swing right, or there's a right hand shift at the top end of the beat, and that helps out Emirates Team New Zealand later on. You'll see shortly they just managed to cross Audi Q8 at the top end of the beat and get themselves into second place around this windward turn. Breeze is built quite nicely now, probably 13-14 knots at times. Made the downwind legs quite interesting. So in this long leg down here under Jenniker, Matador hanging on okay, Emirates Team New Zealand advancing. A little bit more pressure offshore, and the advantage changes. Emirates Team New Zealand very close up onto Matador. Artemis improving also down this run. But the key move of the race really comes after this passing mark. Matador and Emirates Team New Zealand hold a little bit high and sail under code zeros. Now you won't see this in the animation, in fact. Sail under code zeros, Artemis stay low and additional pressure, and just round the outside of the two boats on the inshore track. Artemis increase their lead all the way down this leg, which is about 7.5 miles. And that really was the race over. Emirates Team New Zealand come in for second round the final turning mark, but that's a big lead for Artemis. Artemis only have to consolidate going along this interesting little beat along the cliffs up to the finish, which was right off the marina up off Portimao. You'll see them shortly. They'll just tack along the cliff line and then into the River Arad in the late afternoon And that's Artemis's second coastal race win in succession. Pattern repeated from Cagliari, where Emirates Team New Zealand were second as well.